Hello everyone, this is Caleb from Cosmic Hat Games with another Duels of Fortune character showcase. Prepare for a crash landing, because today we're showing off Duels of Fortune's second guest fighter, the silly shape-shifting slime from a distant planet, EMBER from Hyper Team Recon. If you haven't heard of it before, Hyper Team Recon is a currently upcoming 3D platforming game about 3 shape-shifting aliens exploring planet Earth, learning about its life forms, and getting themselves into all sorts of trouble. It's a cute, colorful, and charming adventure that's easy to pick up and sure to captivate you. A demo of the game is available to try out through a free digital collection we've linked in the video description, but an expanded standalone demo will also be coming to Steam in the near future, so be sure to give it a wishlist. With her origin game not really being focused on combat, you might wonder how exactly EMBER could work in a fighting game. Well, here in Duels of Fortune, EMBER takes on the form of a mobile character with an offensive-leaning playstyle. However, she also happens to have a very special trick up her sleeve. Like in her home game, she has the unique ability to morph into her opponents and copy their techniques. Combine this with a number of versatile moves that aid both her mobility and combo game, and EMBER is a character who will be constantly keeping her opponents on their toes. Alright, we've set our course, so let's get going. Time to jump right into EMBER's command normals. EMBER's back heavy is Bouncy Dash. EMBER turns into her slime form and launches herself forward. This move is great both in and out of combos, granting a wall bounce on hit and even having a brief bit of invincibility shortly after activating the move. And EMBER's jumping down heavy is Isle Anvil. EMBER transforms into a slimy anvil and slams downward to squish the opponent. It's a useful combo tool to bring aerial opponents back down to the ground, and can work as a tricky overhead to catch your foe off guard. Now comes the fun part. Let's take a look at EMBER's slime-tastic special moves. EMBER's neutral special is Spin Attack. EMBER morphs into a spiky star shape, jumping up and spinning rapidly. The move goes straight up by default, but you can hold forward or backward to make it travel in that direction. This move is simple on the surface, but it has a very important property. When it hits the opponent, EMBER will gain their copy ability. While you have a copy ability, neutral special will no longer perform Spin Attack and will instead become Copy Attack, in which EMBER uses whichever ability she has stored. Each character on the roster has one designated move that EMBER will copy. For instance, she copies Inferno Upper from Clyde, High Volt Stun Grenade from Annie, and Breaker Ball from Red. And as an extra bonus, every single copy ability can be used both on the ground and in the air, regardless of whether or not the original move could be, giving EMBER additional flexibility with how she uses these abilities. However, each ability also has only a set number of uses before it must be recopied, so you can't just keep using them forever. Both EMBER's current ability and the number of uses you have left are shown at the bottom of the screen just above her super meter. Copy abilities make EMBER a super versatile character, whose playstyle can completely change depending on the matchup. Don't underestimate the power and utility they can bring you. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to copy another EMBER or any NPC or boss character, well, I think this move speaks for itself. EMBER's back special is Slime Trail Mix. EMBER changes into slime form and slides forward at a high speed. The key with this move is that you can hold down the special button to charge it, allowing you to drastically increase the distance you slide. The travel distance is indicated by the little blobs of slime that appear in front of you. You don't have to slide the full distance you charge either, as you can also stop your movement early by pressing down. And for one more extra option, you can also press up while sliding to leap into the air to catch jumping opponents, and you can even combo the grounded slide into the leap with good timing. This move is great for both extending combos and for punishing an opponent if they miss an attack at a long distance, so go nuts with it. And EMBER's down special is Blob Blob. EMBER throws out a blob of slime, which can either hit the opponent or land on the ground. You can throw the blob at an alternate angle by holding back after initiating the move, which keeps it a bit closer to EMBER. If the blob hits the opponent, it puts a marker on them, and this marker causes the spin attack to home in on the opponent's position as long as you're within range. The marker will go away after one use of spin attack, or if EMBER gets hit, so make sure to use it while you can. However, if the blob lands on the ground instead, it gains a powerful new function. By pressing down special again, EMBER will teleport to the blob's position and perform a surprise uppercut attack. You can teleport to it no matter where you are, on the ground or in the air, so it can be used for many different purposes. The grounded blob can also be used in another way. Running over the blob with Slime Trail Mix will cause a special interaction, in which EMBER gains additional damage and armor on the attack. It might not be quite as universally useful as a teleport, but it can definitely catch your opponent off guard if they try to challenge the move. It may require a little bit of setup time, but Blah Blah opens up a ton of extra damage and utility options for Ember. It can even just serve as a useful projectile attack on its own. Make sure to have it at the ready as much as possible. We've finally arrived. Don't fall asleep now, because we're just about to explore Ember's super moves. Ember's neutral super is Crash Landing. Ember gets into her spaceship and tries to fly it, before promptly stalling out and crashing back down to the ground. At the very least though, she manages to do quite a hefty chunk of damage as a result, especially if all the hits connect. Since she's in her ship, Ember is also completely invincible for just about the entire duration of the super, making it good for shutting down an opponent who gets just a little too overconfident with their offense. All in all, a silly but straightforward super that gets the job done well. And Ember's down super is Luck of the Draw. Ember calls for a timeout as a slot machine appears behind her. The slot machine rolls, and whichever character it lands on, Ember instantly gets that character's copy ability, no matter who she's fighting. You could get Sylvan's ability against Rattlebone, or Air's ability against Shoto, or even the special Ember copy ability against any other character. Nothing is off the table here. Using this super is a fun way to completely shake up the fight, and potentially get a very powerful ability for your current matchup. Whatever ability you roll will even be given 2 more uses than it has normally, giving you some extra bang for your meter. And if you get an ability you don't want, it's not the end of the world, as you can use Ember's down taunt to easily discard whichever ability you currently have and return to using Spin Attack. But this super lacks in any inherent damage. It more than makes up for with raw utility and silly antics. Sometimes it's not about winning the match outright, it's about sending a message. Make use of Ember's quick movement and mobility tools to zoom around the stage and outmaneuver your opponent in order to gain the advantage. Use copy abilities in creative ways to augment your moveset and change up your playstyle, keeping yourself hard to predict and spicing up every single matchup you find yourself in. Ember is a fairly simple character on the surface, but between her copy abilities and all her other highly versatile moves, she's actually got quite a lot going on. Experiment to see what she's capable of with different copy abilities, and never stop being the silliest you can be. That's all for today's showcase. If you like what you see, you can play the game right now through the links in the video description. You can also follow us on Twitter or join the Discord community to keep up with the game's development. We hope you look forward to trying out Ember and to more showcase videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching.